Welcome to Messages from the Universe with Laurie Wondra. Laurie is an internationally renowned psychic medium, author, and shamanic practitioner, sharing insights from angels, guides, wisdom keepers, and teachers of the universe that help you navigate life's mysteries and transformations.
Hello, I am Laurie Wondra, and thank you for listening. Today we're going to talk about what's up with the energy of April 2026. Well, April is the fourth month, and in 2026, which is a universal year of 1, April then carries a collective number of 5. That's the vibration of movement, change, curiosity, and expansion. And boy, after March's grounding, foundation building energy, April asks a simple question. Now that you've stabilized and you've decided on the direction, are you willing to make a move? The number 5 brings momentum. It shakes things loose. It invites experimentation and asks us to engage with life more fully. This is not reckless change. It is conscious motion. The energy of the number 5 resonates with growth through experience, flexibility and adaptability, curiosity and exploration, and breakthroughs from fresh perspectives. And those you cannot get by being a spectator sitting on the sideline. April asks us to integrate spiritual insights into lived reality. It reminds us that transformation rarely happens by standing still. It unfolds when we participate with life. And April 2026 carries an energy of forward movement, but not the rushed or chaotic kind of movement. Instead, it invites movement with meaning, a time when progress happens through awareness, intention, and thoughtful action. After the deep internal shifts and recalibrations of the earlier months of the year, January through March, April begins to open new pathways. Opportunities for change may appear in subtle ways at first, perhaps a conversation that shifts your perspective, or an idea that suddenly feels ready for you to act upon. Or it could be a quiet inner knowing that something in your life is ready to evolve. This month asks us to stay present, to be flexible and grounded. The world around us may feel like it is accelerating, yet the real power of April lies in responding rather than reacting. When we remain centered in the moment, we can recognize which doors are truly aligned with our path, our soul, our purpose, and which ones are merely distractions. There's also a strong theme of courage paired with intention. Courage alone can lead to impulsive actions, while intention without courage can leave dreams quietly just waiting on the shelf. But April invites us to bring these two energies together, courage and intention. And when we act from clarity, guided by purpose rather than pressure, life responds in remarkable ways. Synchronicities increase, support appears where it was not even expected, and steps forward begin to feel more natural. Aries season ignites the month, and then Taurus grounds us. So we entered Aries season on March 20th. The sun begins April in Aries, the sign of initiation, courage, and leadership. And Aries energy sparks movement and encourages us to take the first step, even when the path ahead is still unfolding. And mid-month, when the cosmic ignition grows stronger as several planets gather in Aries, it creates a powerful theme of new beginnings, personal sovereignty, and bold forward momentum. And then around April 19th, when the sun moves into Taurus and we find ourselves in Taurus season, the shifting of the atmosphere moves from ignition to embodiment. Taurus slows the pace just enough to stabilize what has been set in motion. And this shift encourages us to anchor ideas into practical form, build routines that support growth, cultivate patience and sustainability. And what begins in Aries then finds deep roots in Taurus. Now, also being aware in April, Mercury moves from Pisces into Aries. And early April finds us with Mercury sitting in Pisces, where thinking is intuitive, reflective, and emotionally aware. Conversations may feel softer, more imaginative, or spiritually oriented. And then on April 14th, when Mercury enters Aries, communication becomes far more direct. This shift encourages bold conversations, quick decision-making, getting to the point, and clear expression of truth. And Mercury in Aries favors honesty and clarity, though it also often asks us to pause before speaking impulsively. This energy supports leadership thinking, new ideas, and the courage to voice what has been quietly forming inside of us. And Venus moves from Taurus into Gemini. Venus begins April in Taurus, one of its most comfortable placements. Love energy is steady, sensual, and grounded. Relationships seek stability, loyalty, and genuine connection. This period favors deepening trust, appreciating beauty and comfort, and lastly, strengthening financial security. And on April 24th, Venus moves into Gemini, and that's shifting relationship energy into curiosity and communication. Love becomes lighter, more conversational, and intellectually stimulating. Connections thrive through shared ideas, humor, and meaningful dialogue. This transition reminds us that love grows not only through commitment, but through ongoing discovery. And Mars moves from Pisces into Aries. This is where action returns. Mars begins April in Pisces, where motivation may feel emotional, intuitive, or somewhat subtle, but actions are guided by inner feelings rather than force. And on April 9th, when Mars enters Aries, its home sign, the energy shifts dramatically. Motivation increases, confidence rises, initiative becomes easier. Mars in Aries encourages bold action, leadership, courage to begin something new. However, it also reminds us that true strength comes from acting with awareness rather than reacting out of impatience. And we have a full moon in Libra on April 1st. That's a great way to start a new month. April begins with that illumination in themes of balance and relationships and harmony. And Libra energy seeks fairness, balance, mutual respect. So under this full moon, truths will surface, especially around those things regarding relationships or those places where relationships feel out of alignment. This full moon highlights relationship clarity, emotional honesty, decisions around commitment or release, rebalancing, give and take. If tension arises, view it as information rather than failure. Something may simply need adjustment, so harmony can return at a deeper level. Libra is the sign of the scales, and so it's going to push us to look for those things that are out of alignment or out of balance and get them back into balance. Now, we also have a new moon in Aries on April 17th, and that new moon in Aries brings one of the most powerful moments of initiation in the month. With several planets already gathered in Aries, this new moon amplifies themes of courage, independence, and of course, new beginnings. This new moon invites intentions around personal leadership, authentic identity, bold life, and decisions. Those new projects or ventures, those experiences that may have been sitting in the shadows are now in the light. Aries energy does not wait for perfect conditions. It begins with the understanding that clarity often appears after the first step is taken. Now, we also have Saturn and Neptune in Aries. It's a lot of planets in Aries this month again. This is about soulful leadership. Saturn and Neptune together in Aries create one of the most significant astrological themes of the year. Saturn represents responsibility and structure, and Neptune represents spiritual vision and intuition. And together, they ask us to align action with purpose. So April asks you, are you acting from fear or from truth? And when courage is guided by intuition and integrity, progress becomes sustainable. Leadership becomes not just ambition, but service to something larger than oneself. One more big planet I want to talk about before I jump into the individual astrology signs, and that is Uranus. Uranus is preparing to enter Gemini, and this is a shift in collective thinking. So late April begins the energetic preparation for Uranus to move into Gemini. This is a transit that will reshape communication, technology, education, and global information systems over the coming years. You may notice sudden insights, rapid shift in thinking, some new conversations about the future. This energy encourages intellectual awakening and innovation, and it's one I'm going to be watching closely. All right, let's move around the zodiac sign and cover what each sign can expect in April. For best results, I ask that you listen to perhaps both your sun and your rising sign. So let's start by Aries, because relationship insights happen right out of the gate on April 1st. That's that full moon, and the new beginnings began on April 17th. April places you at the center of cosmic momentum. The full moon brings relationship clarity, helping you see where balance is needed, and mid-month, the new moon in your sign offers a powerful reset. New goals, new identity, new direction. This is your moment to begin again. And Taurus, this month is about inner reflection, especially with the full moon on April 1st and personal momentum building later in the month around the new moon. The full moon encourages rest and emotional clearing behind the scenes. As the sun moves into your sign, energy returns and confidence grows. And this is a time to prepare for your personal new cycle. What you plant now begins to flourish in the months ahead. And Gemini, friendship insights are highlighted on the full moon on April 1st, and new connections come in later in the month. Social dynamics shift under the full moon, revealing which connections truly support your growth. And as Venus moves into your sign later in April, charm and attraction increase, and conversations bring great new opportunities. And Cancer, this month is about career clarity, especially April 1st with the full moon, and then some additional leadership opportunities show up mid-month with a new moon. The full moon highlights your public path and long-term ambitions. Something may come to completion or a decision comes to clarity with this full moon. The Aries new moon encourages bold new steps in your professional life, so trust your ability to lead. And Leo, this is about shifting perspectives, especially with the full moon on April 1st, and expansion comes into alignment for you with the new moon. The full moon's illumination is about learning, travel, or beliefs that are evolving. The new moon supports adventure, education, and new horizons. Now, life may invite you to step beyond your comfort zone in exciting ways that maybe you didn't see coming. And Virgo, financial awareness, especially around April 1st with the full moon, and transformation with the new moon. Shared resources, debts, or emotional exchanges come into focus under the full moon, but by the new moon, deeper transformation is underway. Let go of what no longer supports your growth. And Libra, this is a personal turning point month for you. The April 1st full moon will highlight some powerful inner sense and bring more self-awareness to the front. And then the new moon helps a reset occur. Now, the full moon in your sign brings that self-awareness, and that's a powerful shift in your energy field. Something about your identity or relationship becomes very, very clear. And the Aries new moon invites new agreements, new contracts, new ways to look at the relationships in your life. And of course, with that, it brings healthier partnership dynamics. And Scorpio, your month of April is going to be focused on health and balance. The April 1st full moon reveals where rest and healing are needed. And by mid-month, the new moon, that calls for new routines. It encourages healthier routines and renewed daily structures. Small changes now bring lasting results. And Sagittarius, well, you have some creative energy hitting you this month and some insights with the full moon on April 1st. Something meaningful emerges around creativity, maybe some romance or personal expression, and then look for joy. That new moon in mid-month encourages you to follow what feels exciting and authentic, maybe in places that you hadn't looked or hadn't discovered before. And Capricorn, this month it's about home matters. The full moon on April 1st highlights family or home dynamics. A shift may bring greater emotional clarity. And the new moon, mid-month on April 17th, supports creating a stronger foundation in your personal life. And that will carry you through the remainder of the year. And Aquarius, this month is about important conversations. April 1st, full moon, the communication becomes powerfully clear. It's important for you to see the truth. And this full moon, I believe, is going to reveal important truths or decisions that maybe have been hidden or covered in the shadows. And then the new moon, mid-month, sparks fresh ideas, perhaps in the areas of writing, learning, or even new collaborations with those new partnerships or new friendships that you have coming in this month. And Pisces, this month is about financial clarity. The full moon on April 1st is going to highlight money and your personal value. Those things come into acute focus, especially under this full moon. And the new moon mid-month invites new approaches to income, stability, and recognizing your true worth. Ultimately, April 2026 reminds us that meaningful changes rarely arrive through force. It unfolds through presence, trust, and willingness to move when the moment feels aligned. Starting the month with a full moon is powerful. It is going to illuminate those things that need to be looked at. So be aware of messages and signs and symbols and your intuition. What's being shown to you? Also, by staying grounded in your truth while remaining open to possibility, you create the conditions for life to meet you halfway, transforming small choices into powerful big steps towards the future that's waiting to emerge. And that's the magic of the mid-month, the new moon in April. April invites movement with meaning, but we have to be willing to move. Change is available, but only if you stay present, aware, flexible, and of course, grounded. When courage is paired with intention, life responds. I'm Laurie Wondra of Your Life Core, and thank you for joining, and thank you for listening today.
Thank you for listening to Messages from the Universe. For information about Laurie Wondra's current events or to schedule a private session, visit her website, yourlifecore.com. You can also subscribe to our monthly newsletter. Laurie also shares inspirational and informational messages on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening.